Welcome to another episode of The Dissection. A former prominent DA leader has been arrested for corruption. Malusi Booi, a prominent DA member and a former senior leader of the city of Cape Town, is being reported to have been arrested and is going to appear in court today. This is part of what appears to be a major construction tender corruption arrest. And I'm going to discuss that later. And it's linked to some gangs within the city of Cape Town. But before I go on, the first thing that I want to talk about is the way that this is being reported by the media. Something funny is happening in the way this is reported by the media in many of the publications. For example, Daily Maverick is saying that a city of Cape Town mayoral committee leader has been, or former city of Cape Town leader has been arrested. No mention whatsoever of the Democratic Alliance. At face value, that's fine, right? He was a city of Cape Town mayoral committee leader. He was, that's accurate. But that is not consistent with how they have been reporting on everybody else. You know, the media usually gives a prefix, a describing word to certain individuals, right? And what they will say is that they will say, disgraced Tom Moyane has done this. They will say, impeached Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. They will say, disgraced and impeached Dr. John Hlophe, right? They will also say, VBS implicated Floyd Shivambu. VBS implicated Julius Malema. It's never just Floyd Shivambu, Julius Malema, Dr. John Hlophe. And there's always an association with the party and the scandal. Frequently, they do that. So now, when it comes to Malusi Booi, he's just by himself. No association whatsoever. He just became a mayoral committee member. Forget that he used to be in the DA. He was on their party list in 2014. He rose through their ranks. He's been a member for a very long period of time. Now, all of a sudden, there's no association whatsoever with the DA. That is hypocritical. If you are consistent as a media, there's no problem. But when you begin to say some people are disgraced and this party is VBS implicated, etc., but then you don't say the same of other parties, then we are, as members of the public and people who are competitors, justified to say mainstream is not doing it the right way. And definitely they're not doing it the right way. Go and check how they're reporting on this. But anyway, let's go back to the story because I'm gonna tell you as it is. A former senior DA leader has been arrested for corruption. Malusi Booi, a prominent DA member and former senior leader of the city of Cape Town, has been arrested. Malusi Booi served on the DA Cape Town mayoral committee. He served on the Human Settlements portfolio. And he was fired by the DA in March of 2023 after his offices were raided. Up until March of 2023, he was a DA member in good standing. Everything that he did up until March of 2023 was done by the DA as much as it was done by him. So when the DA says, no, there's no corruption in Cape Town, we have to be able to say, whoop, some of your members have been implicated. You know, even the ANC, some of the ANC members are not corrupt. They are hardworking public servants who believe in the values of the party, the struggle that the party fought. They believe in Nelson Mandela. They stand up for those kind of values. But when we're discussing the ANC, we implicate everybody. If you do that for one, you should do it for all, right? So there are allegations that this man is facing. I'm going to tell you what the allegations are because they're pretty serious. Here are the allegations. The allegations are that Malusi accepted cash from organized crime suspects in exchange for information relating to housing tenders. These tenders would then be tweaked to suit certain companies. It's alleged that he took cash payments from notorious individuals in the criminal underworld to facilitate the provision of information regarding the city's tenders in the Human Settlements Directorate. It's alleged that Malusi had corrupt relationships with certain service providers and gangsters in Bishop Lavis. and parts of Bishop Lavis, for those who don't know, are alleged to be 28 strongholds, and the 28 are a notorious Cape Town gang. Other allegations are that Malusi would send staff to a garage in Bishop Lavis, which was owned by a suspected gangster, and that member of staff or those members of staff would collect between 20,000 Rand to 100,000 Rand in cash. The cash, it was alleged, would then be deposited into the bank account of a personal assistant who was then instructed via WhatsApp of which monies should be paid to whatever entity and to take care of whatever's Malusi's business needed to be taken care of. Those are the allegations that are being made against Malusi. So the police have confirmed certain elements of this, except for one, which will be confirmed probably by the time you see this video or during the day-to-day on the 11th of September, Wednesday the 11th of September. So this is what the police confirmed on Tuesday afternoon. The police confirmed that a 46-year-old suspect was arrested in the Eastern Cape when police officers, including police officers from the Commercial Crimes and Anti-Gang units, swooped in on a location in the Eastern Cape on Monday evening. The arrest of the 46-year-old suspect was part of a protracted investigation into alleged fraudulent and corrupt activities at the City of Cape Town's Human Settlements Directorate. The arrest follows an investigation initiated by commercial crimes detectives that saw the investigators descending on the City of Cape Town offices in March 2023 and seizing a number of items as part of their probe. 3 other suspects were arrested in Johannesburg and another 4 in Cape Town on Tuesday. By the afternoon, the suspects arrested outside of Cape Town were being transported to the city. So, from the police, they've not yet identified who they've arrested because that has to be done in court. But all of the documents, including the age, the location, etc., indicate that Malusi Booi is the individual who was actually arrested, and he's going to appear in court. He is scheduled to appear in court on Wednesday in the Cape Town Magistrates Court, and he will be charged most likely with money laundering, fraud, corruption, racketeering, and extortion. This is going to be something that is going to be a very significant trial if it gets to that stage. Obviously, you get charged, there's a bail hearing, there's a variety of things that happen. A trial date is set before we actually get to the nitty-gritty, so to speak. And the trial date may not be set anytime this year. We'll see when they set it. There can be a variety of legal issues that can delay when someone goes to trial. But that is where things stand right now. Accusations of gangs being involved in the acquisition of tenders. You know, we consistently hear about these construction mafias. We're beginning to see how the construction mafias work with politicians, and this particular iteration is playing out in the city of Cape Town. I must say that there is something that is quite concerning about the city of Cape Town when you visit there and you go there. Many of the affluent areas are squeaky clean, no appearance whatsoever of malfeasance, except for one thing. You know, you will hear often that, you know, dangerous substances are being consumed by party goers, people in clubs, etc., that, you know, these illicit substances, which are, you know, narcotics, can be accessed quite easily within the city of Cape Town. You'll hear that. And if you go to these places and spaces, you'll see that, you know, people are inhaling lines of white substances into their bodies. And all of this is happening in Cape Town, the same Cape Town that people say is squeaky clean, nothing is wrong, etc. So there is a strong criminal underworld within the city of Cape Town that is involved in the narcotics business and in the narcotics trade, aside from other things. So on the one hand, this issue reveals how these particular gangs then take this money and then use it for, you know, participation in mainstream economy like construction, you know. However, the other question still remains: how is it possible that this prolific drug trade continues within the city of Cape Town unabated up to now? And it's not the only violent crime that is occurring in Cape Town. We know that some of the most dangerous communities are in the Western Cape, and that of the top 10 police stations, a lot of them are actually in the city of Cape Town, the top 10 police stations where serious crimes are reported. So if we know that already, then questions really do have to be asked about the administration of Cape Town at an even deeper level, right? Because it's all well and good to say, well, you know, look at our lounge, look at our kitchen, but if the bathroom is dirty and it's smelling and there are feces on the floor, can we really praise the cleanliness and pristineness of your lounge? Should we praise the pristineness and cleanness of your lounge? How is it possible that this individual was doing all of these things for all of these years and no one in the DA knew about it? Is it possible? Or is he the fall guy? Was he sloppy? I don't know. What do you think? Let's have a conversation. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I really think that it's amusing how the media has reported the story. I also think that there are more questions that could be asked about the city of Cape Town than simply around quality of delivery in the most affluent and pristine areas, which they do serve well. I'll give them that. Airport is tremendous. Sea Point is tremendous. City Ball, well managed. But Khayelitsha, Langa, Cape Flats, lots of questions to be answered. Do you think that the media is justified to ignore the DA relationship that this individual has and just to merely focus on him? By the way, this is not the only individual who's from the DA who at some point or another has been accused of corruption or even been arrested. This is just the latest one. And then it leads us to ask questions, right, about the narrative that the DA is the one which is not corrupt. Is that even a fair analysis? Let's have a conversation. I'll meet you in the comments. Till the next one.